Hi guys, and welcome to the classroom. Today we're looking at creating our first Word document and using some formatting tools to change the look and the feel of the characters that we're using within Microsoft Word. This is called our fonts. So we're going to look at fonts formatting and the types of fonts that you can use. But the most important thing is to keep watching till the end of the video because I've got a big surprise for you guys waiting there. So let's quickly jump into the classroom. Let's go.
Now let's start by opening a new Word document. So I would go to File, I would go to New, and I would select a blank document. Now let's say, for example, I type some text into my document. There are certain rules that apply when you type into a document. First of all, you will need to leave an empty space between words, and at the end of a sentence you will put a full stop followed by another space. Be careful of using the enter key too many times, because every time you enter you create a new paragraph. You would rather like to keep your text in a large paragraph, and between paragraphs you would then use your enter key. So let's try this out. My name is
Hi,
John.
just a quick reminder. Please press the subscribe button here at the bottom.
South.
The reason for that is the more subscribers I have to this channel,
Now, if I
the better
carry
the
on
chances that YouTube
with
will
this
show
document,
my videos when
let
people
us
search for information.
see.
So please press the subscribe button and also the bell button, because the next time I publish a new video, you will then be notified. Thank you guys.
You will see when I get to the end of a line, Word will automatically move into a new line and will adjust the layout of that text that it fits nicely across your page. It's called alignment. Now I'm at the end of a sentence. If I press my enter key, you will see that Word creates a little space between the paragraphs. So be very careful when you use your enter key. Don't use it too many times, because it creates a lot of paragraphs that are separated by an empty space. You could rather just carry on typing and Word will then create a paragraph with a few sentences.
The first shortcut key I want to show you is the Control plus the little wheel on your mouse. So you press your Control key and you use the little wheel on your mouse. That will zoom in and out of your document. Let's see that in use.
If I want to zoom into a document, I can click anywhere inside the document. I can hold in my Control key on the keyboard and just use my scroll bar on my mouse, my little wheel, and it will then zoom in and out of the document.
The next one is to undo your last action. For example, you type something, you make an error and you want to undo it. You will use the Control key plus the Z key on your keyboard. Let's have a look.
I'm going to type my name is John, and I want to undo the last action that I've completed in Word. So to undo, I will use my Control and I will use my Z key, and you can see whatever I type last on my screen or my document will then disappear. If I want it back, I can then use the redo button.
And the last shortcut key is your Control Y. That is to repeat your last action. Maybe you type something and you want to retype it, you use the Control Y key. Let's see.
Now to redo something in Word, You also use your control key, but you use the Y key, and it will then repeat your last action that you have used within Word.
Great, and those are some helpful shortcut keys.
If, for example, I would like my text almost aligned in little columns in Word, I can use my tab key. So if I press my tab key, you will see that the indicator on the screen jumps at a specific distance every time I use tab. So what you can do is you can type, let's say, lesson 1, and then tab, and then lesson 2, tab again, lesson 3, and then I will enter, and maybe I would type lesson 4. I will then tab again, lesson 5, I will tab again, and lesson number 6. So by using the tab, you can arrange text nicely underneath each other, so it almost looks as if those entries are in columns below each other.
If you are Afrikaans speaking, you sometimes use special characters in Word. In Afrikaans, I will refer to them, for example, as an E, the letter E, and then on top of that, we put what we call in Afrikaans a kappie. So ek praat van 'n kappie ear. Let's see how I would do that.
Now, as you have heard, sometimes, especially in Afrikaans, you need something like what we call a kappie op 'n ear. So it will look something like this. And the question is, how do you create these special characters? So if I type an Afrikaans sentence, for example, and now I want to say the cat is lying on the floor. So in Afrikaans, I would like to say die kat lê op die vloer. So die ear gaan 'n kappie op hê. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say die kat. I'm going to type the L. Then I'm going to my insert button at the top of my menu. And I will then on the right hand side go to symbol. On the symbol side, I will select more symbols. It will give you this screen showing you in this drop down a list of all the fonts on your machine. You can use any one, but obviously you're going to use the same fonts that you are currently using within Word. So I'm just scrolling up to find that specific fonts. And there I go. I select the fonts. And in there, I then should be able to scroll down or up to find specific characters. If I go all the way up, if I go one screen down, we are actually looking for that specific E, and there I find it on screen. I click on it and press my insert key, and then I will close. You will see that Word then inserted that specific character or version of E into my document.
Now let's have some fun and add some interesting icons or symbols to your Word document. Let's have a look.
Now the fun part is if you want to add specific symbols or icons, for example, a little picture of a telephone followed by a telephone number. So I would once again go to Insert, I would go to Symbols, I would go to More Symbols, and in this font box here, there is a section called, or a font which is called Windings. So if I just go down to the W's, it should pop up. Let's just see when we get there. You can either use Webdings or Windings. they give you similar little symbols. And there you'll find nice symbols you can insert into your document. So I select the telephone, I go insert, and I close, and it inserts a little telephone into my Word document, and I can then follow that with a specific telephone number.
Now Word is also hiding, don't tell anyone, some secret codes in the document. Codes that you can see and have a look at to determine what someone else has done in the document. For example, that they use the Enter key, that they use the Tab key, that they put spaces in between the words. Now let me show you how to reveal these secret codes. Have a look. You will be using this symbol or menu item in Word. Let's see. But don't tell anyone.
Now that little secret weapon you can find on the Home button. If I click on the Home button, I go to the middle of my screen, I get this symbol or button, I select that, and now Word shows us all its little secrets hidden that the normal user cannot see. Whenever I enter in my document, I will find this symbol. Wherever I have used the tab, you will find this little arrow symbol, and in between words you can see these little dots indicating to us that I have actually used the space bar. Now this is an important button to use, especially if you receive documents from another person and you're not sure how they've created the document. Then it's a good idea to use this button at the top. It is called my paragraph marker. Once you have switched it on and had a look at these little secret messages or codes, you can then just click on the button again to switch it off. This will not print when you print a document.
When you work with fonts, it is important to know that you do get different types of fonts. Let me show you on the screen some of the fonts you do get in Microsoft Word. Once you have selected a font, you might like to change the style of the font. For example, should it be italic or should it be bold? Here are some options that you can choose from. And one last thing you might want to do with your fonts is to increase the size or make it larger or smaller. In Word, it is referred to as the PT setting or the point setting of your fonts, and that is usually a number.
Now the default fonts in Word, if you go to your Home button, in this font section you will see it is Calibri. That is the default font that Word uses. If you click down on this list, you will find more fonts to use within your document, and they actually give you a preview in the list of how the fonts would look. The next thing you might like to do is change the size of your font. You can click this button and select a larger or smaller font. You can also use these buttons. The B will change the fonts to bold. The little I will make it italic, and the U will underline your text. Let's see how we use it in a document. So what you need to do is you need to select the sentence or the words that you want to change. Let's say, for example, I would like to change the word South Africa to a different font. So I select the word, I go to my font list. Let's say, for example, I select Algerian, and I also want to make it bold so it stands out, and I also want to make it italic, and I also want to underline it. So there's a good example of using all these little tools within the font section of Word. There are a lot more you can use, but for now it's important to know the different fonts, the sizes you can select. and the bold, italic and underline options are very important. Let me show you how you select words or paragraphs or sentences within the Word document. If you click inside a word, you're actually selecting the space in between the two characters. If I double click a word, it selects the word. If I go to the left margin of my Word document and I click once, it will select that row of information or text. If I double click, it will select the whole paragraph, and if I click 3 times, 1 to 3 with the left mouse button, it will select all the text within my document.
Thank you for watching till the end, and here I have my secret surprise that I want to share with you. As from today, we will be joined by one of my students asking some great questions when she uses any of the Microsoft products. Let's welcome Itu.
Hi, thank you for having me in the class. It's nice being here.
Hi Itu, and welcome to my classroom. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I actually do. I've received a Word document that's in all uppercase. Is there an easier way to fix that?
Yes, we do sometimes find documents where all the characters in the document is in uppercase. So let me show you how you can change that it looks like a normal sentence in Microsoft Word. For example, with the first character an uppercase, the rest of the sentence a lowercase. Let's see how that is done.
Now, Itu, that is a very interesting question. If you look on the screen, I've got a whole paragraph that is in uppercase in my Word document. Now, usually you would never use uppercase for all of the text in your document. So how can I easily convert this back to normal, where the first letter of a sentence is uppercase and the rest of the sentence is lowercase? So what I will do is I will go to the left margin and I will double click. It selects the whole paragraph. I will then go to my home button at the top, and there is this little button you can use. If I drop down, it says sentence case, lowercase, uppercase. So the one I'm looking for is sentence case. It says the first letter or character will be uppercase and the rest will be lowercase. So if I select that, by magic, I have now converted all that uppercase fonts or characters into a sentence case where it looks more normal for the user using or reading the Word document.
Thank you for attending the classroom today. I hope you've learned a lot, and once again, very welcome to Itu, our student. As I've said, she will be joining us in the future, asking some interesting questions. Have a wonderful week and day. See you back in the next classroom. Bye.